Hello, my dear Pharma network. So that was quite a break for Christmas and New Year, and we're back with PharmaTalks and with very inspiring topic. So today we are starting a conversation about DOLs. It's not like DOLs, but it's about digital opinion leaders, not about influencers, not the classic key opinion leaders who moved online, but with a different model of the modern engagement we are all facing with the new generation, I would say, with key opinion leaders who have all this online digital influence and has all the audience and channels and valuable medical information for us. So to unpack this topic and to get closer how it will be connected to all the other themes we were opening online about pharma marketing and what do we do, I have invited an expert. Today, with us in the studio, please meet Pavlo Klymenko, who is the Pharma omnichannel marketing expert and the expert of digital engagement, and who is deeply involved in the topic of DOLs. Hi, Pasha. How are you doing?
Hello, Natalia. Hello, colleagues. Yeah, it's fine. It's really like an active starting of the new year.
Excellent. So, can you relate a little bit yourself to the DOL topic? So, to the topic of the digital opinion leaders. Have you been working with it since recently? So, what are the trends?
Yeah, sure, Natalia. Of course, like we're actively working with digital opinion leaders, and it's not new in general, I would say, because like open media, social media, any kind of voices there, it was crucial for our communication, for helping pharma companies and digital opinion leaders to be there. But also the core stuff is that like current couple of years really started this significant shift. It's not just additional channel, additional activity. It's really like it's really there. The landscape is shifted towards this open media. Different kind of these leaders and opinion leaders is started to be there initially, not just drifted there, not just started to embrace this landscape as well, but started to emerge from the very beginning as a natural environment.
That's a
These young
great
young doctors and so on.
That's a great topic. That's a great statement, especially when you start with the young doctors. So, where we come to why in pharma, this is an important topic. So, do we have the fatigue of key opinion leaders? Do we have any other gaps we are experiencing? So, we are trying to cover with the concept of digital opinion leadership. So, can you a little bit elaborate from your experience why pharma is the first, or like at least in the very front line, to embrace the digital opinion leaders concept?
Yeah, for sure, we see the fatigue on this regard because like the old formats, it's not so natural, I would say, so interactive, and in busy environment, it's hard to be everywhere. It's hard to visit all this forums, all this offline playgrounds really often. People feel that it's a little bit not up to date with the current speed, with the current pace of the changes, the emergent trends, and so on. I cannot wait, for example, for 1 year to visit some kind of congress to get myself familiarized with the new topics, new themes, new trends, and so on. So I need to constantly monitor them. And sense of the audience feels that it's also a little bit like disconnected. All these prepared messages, all these polished dialogues, it's a little bit not so natural nowadays. It needs to be more open, more frequent, more natural, and more really based not on this just some kind of titles, but more on this like expertise by communication, expertise by practical cases, expertise that is shared like more peer-to-peer in everyday conversation and everyday practice.
So what you are saying is like then we are not against the congresses, aren't we? We are just not waiting to meet on the congress just once a year or twice a year. we are absolutely scalable with this new concept of digital opinion leadership. So where we can engage within the more channels, where we can connect with the convenient time, and we are not bounded to strictly marketing topic or strictly salesy topics, right? Once we are connecting, we are able to elaborate on the topics which are about the problem, and they can have the both angles, the angle of clinical angle, so of the HCP, and the other angle, which is a patient angle, so which is also very important because we all are consumers of the internet information. So this is very important that this information is qualified and governed from medical perspective. This is, am I having this right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure, we're not against the constant, the old format, this offline and so on. And in many cases, it's really like hybrid. We even have this like many cases when we are creating this journey and omnichannel communication for inviting the healthcare professionals into online part, offline part, if they can participate physically, and online part if they're not willing. And even their speakers could be a little bit like different. So some speakers could lead in the offline parts, and some speakers could be online and leading more this online part as well. So it's really the mix in many cases, and you really need to by this digital leaders and be present in this digital landscape. You need just to fill the gap. You're not substituting. You're filling the gap in this communication. You're filling the gap in this need.
Wow. So we are already jumping to the problem solving, so that there is actually the space which was naturally created for this type of the personas. We have already mentioned the couple of predicaments where we start this digital opinion leaders conversation. So younger generations of doctors, fatigue of key opinion leaders, time with the doctor is actually very short. Rare occasion you can talk to the people on face to face now. So what are the other problems? Part of that could be solved with the digital opinion leaders concept. Do you know, like, particularly why the pharmaceutical industry is becoming very much interested in this type of solution?
Yep. Couple of I think it's really a lot of reasons. Let's like just name couple of additional. So first of all, they try to follow the patients. Patients is there. They're starting to more and more get information not by visiting the HCP, but getting this like answers to their requests, to their pains, to their needs in the social media from all these influencers. And if you are not there, if you are not really filling this gap with the accurate medical information, other influencers who is not healthcare professional, who is sharing a lot of this misinformation, these myths and so on, will populate this gap. And after that, it will be much harder for you to be there because it's already populated by this misconception, by this misinformation. So you should be there from the very beginning, not just like lagging and trying to catch up with the train that is already gone. Second is really this, like we already mentioned, this topic that is you need to really be fast. You need to really not just wait for some kind of new guidelines to emerge. You need to fill it with new modern practices, with some kind of this gray zones, some these cases that is not 100% followed by some protocols or guideline. You need to raise this to your peers and to discuss it, or raise some kind of to the patients. Just a quick case about our last analysis from this landscape in obesity. We saw that a lot of this gap in connection of the obesity to other topics, from, for example, to depression, to sleep disorders, that is not populated. So patient is screaming for this kind of information, screaming for these answers, and no one is populating there except some these myths and misinformation.
That's an interesting problems, right? I also want us to go back a little bit where we, in the beginning, we just have this statement and talked about that the digital opinion leaders are not the mere influencers. So they more than just influencers. They are having like medical and compliance governance around, because influencers, they very often are driving us either to lifestyle or to the product or to the opinion, while the digital opinion leaders with the medical guardrails, they are those with whom the medical affairs in pharma companies would collaborate. And because there is a strict governance and control over these messages, and these messages, thanks to the collaboration with pharma and the right type of the engagement with digital opinion leaders, will be shared in very secure channels, and we will be not slipping to the marketing and promotional material, but really using this engagement for discussion, broad topics. Like obesity is a good example, and with the most recently, it's became the very clear source of many hard health conditions, right? So then we absolutely need medical and competent information around this topic, right? So, and digital opinion leaders is just the source which will be operating under this medical framing and will bring this information safely to the consumers. Saying that, it seems to me like engaging with the digital opinion leaders is a great deal, right? So that why digital opinion leaders are keen to engage with pharma, or how to engage with digital opinion leaders. What do you think? So what is in these relationships for them?
Yeah, it's a great topic, Natalia. So, and you really mentioned that is, first of all, it's not about really this kind of branding, not about the pushing the products, not about some kind of product placement or any kind of this stuff. So you need to really communicate to them, really to shape this dialogue. So they, as you mentioned already, they really responsible for this, like shaping the narratives in this digital landscape, in all this social media, open media, and so on. And you need to also create this honest, transparent, and really win-win communication to them, to share with them some kind of thoughts, any kind of materials, to maybe any kind of clinical studies or any kind of problems that you see, get from them some kind of feedback and help them. So during our couple of last workshops that we conducted for this digital opinion leaders, they really a little bit struggle and need to help. How, for example, they need to some extent coexist with these influencers who is sharing, who has more voice in sense of their coverage, but not so accurate, really sharing not so accurate information. In obesity, for example, this kind of phrases that we heard from patients, like I was told just to eat less. When you have a serious medical condition, just to eat less, it's not the answer for sure. So pharma needs to help them to be there, help them to raise their voice, and really try to get this additional synergy, but not just, of course, like pushing the products, and hear them what they really are asking for. So help them maybe to prepare some content needed to how it should be, how it could be reused. Also, there are really huge problems that we heard from the digital opinion leaders, that they're asking, okay, I really have a lot of stuff to say. I have the audience, but I live in the modern pace when there is not enough time for me to create this content, to post and so on. So you need to propose some different kind of mechanism, and maybe some even content pieces, content blocks, how they can post the medical accurate content fast and in constant basis.
So it basically that we in pharma have created a very well-oiled communication machine, let us say, right? And now we can, instead of pushing product information on patients, we can create medically serious conversations, and we can help the digital opinion leaders who are really clinicians, are operating, are treating people. They are really, really working daily. So, but help them to communicate the innovations, the ideas, deliver them these tools and formats of the conversation, right? So am I
Yep.
taking this right?
Absolutely, absolutely. They definitely need help, and they will appreciate this help in these areas that I already mentioned, and some more. So that is really the case, like to hear them, to help them, but not, of course, like to push and not try to hide some kind of promotional information under this just honest conversation. Honest conversation should be honest. Transparent conversation should be transparent.
Excellent, excellent. So that it means like we absolutely stepping on the new ground here, right? So where we are not creating this push communication like product centric, where we are using everything what we have built within the years, building the compliant medical engagements. So we are using all of these tools and all of this knowledge to help clinicians and leaders in opinions digitally express themselves and get to the communities with the message they want to deliver, and make sure this is not taking a lot of their time and they are positioned well and they are having the voice which they really deserve to have in all these influencers' voices, right? And us patients will be benefit immediately out of that, because we will be able to hear the conversations which are safe, which are clinically sound, with the piece of advice which actually can be taken and appropriately used, right? So this is absolutely a game changer. So I do agree that we have to really have to practice that. Look, where to start? How does it look in practice? What you would recommend? Where to start? So, like, if pharma company wants to engage with digital opinion leaders, or the digital opinion leaders they want to have this help, where to start? So, how would you see like the easy start?
Yeah, it's always hard to start in any a kind of this, especially new or not so clear landscape, I would say. So first of all, of course, we need to start with medical intent. We need to understand like at which this therapeutic area we would like to step in. And for pharma, it's really that they need to speak on behalf of the create the communication on behalf of this therapeutic areas. And after that, of course, you need to identify these DOLs. You need to find in which country, in each region, you need to find these voices, these clinicians who is speaking, who is more or less present there, who is naturally in this landscape and willing to discuss, willing to get this help, willing to have this conversation as and after that, you need to, of course, to think about this engagement format, how you will create this dialogue, how you will approach them, what you will propose, how you will shape it into their constant basis, because it's not one-off conversation. It's a constant dialogue that you need to build. So pharma get used to build this a little bit one-way dialogue through this constant communication, a little bit like push communication. But here it's really constant dialogues that you need to build with the clinicians, and you need to constantly support them, constantly get this trends, this insights, this information, share with them, hear what they are asking for, help them to prepare some kind of this insights, assets, this content pieces, so they could easily get it and reuse. So it should be easy for them. You need to really invest this time and efforts in order for them to save time and efforts to easily share this information. And patients as well also need to get this information quickly, digest it quickly, and feel the benefits almost instantly, almost immediately. What to do, what to know, how to visit, which doctor to visit, like which direction to dig in, which not. So all this building this mechanism and this constant loop of this dialogue on this engagement. This is a crucial.
This sounds like a crucial action, right? So we have call to action already, how we can engage and where we can find digital opinion leaders, and we can use the practices and experience we already have. So I have prepared for you, Pavlos, today couple of statements for which I need your very short answer, hot
Mhm.
or not. So It means like I will say a statement. If you agree with it, you will say hot. If you disagree, you will say not. Be aware that some of those statements are very provocative and they may be even contradictory at some point. So this is not really intention here. It's just intention to challenge the status quo and to say, so what exactly our belief look like? So are you ready?
Yes.
Great. So number one, digital opinion leaders are replacing traditional key opinion leaders and advisory boards.
Not.
Oh, great. Second, medical affairs are becoming the natural owner of digital opinion leaders programs.
Hot.
Good. The third, qualitative insight is becoming more valuable than quantitative data.
This one is really tricky. I would say it's hot and not at the same time, I would say.
Can you elaborate a bit?
Qualitative insights, it's really important because you need to understand, you need to weight these trends, how many these requests, how many this mention in, for example, social media. So this is important for you really to understand the landscape, the percentage, the numbers, the reach. So it's valuable for you. But at the same time, you need to, after you understand this, some quantity, you need to dive deeper into the quality, to which extent it's already covered, to which extent it's really the accurate information there. Is there any a lot of these myths and so on? So you need to really to merge, I would say, this both the data-driven approach with this insights, with the deep understanding what is going on.
That's a cool explanation. I do agree with you that there must be a balance. So let's move forward. So there's the fourth one. Brand teams funding digital opinion leader programs from the start.
Not.
The fifth, podcasts are becoming a core medical engagement format.
Hot.
The sixth one, influencer style engagement is disappearing from pharma.
Not.
Oh, good for us. The seventh, digital opinion leaders are becoming essential for launch readiness.
Double hot.
Thank you so much. I am so grateful, Pavlo, for your participation in this new, not easy, but really interesting conversation. This conversation is not about bringing the contradictory statement about replacement of our usual works and ways of engagement, but about to bring the new, about to challenge the status quo, about to think how we can be actually impressive and really effective working digitally, and how we embrace the new generation of medical professionals with their preferences and their needs. So, Pablo, thank you again. It was a really great touch on the topic. I hope we will be continuing as we are crafting a lot of more on this digital type of the engagement, and hopefully we will meet again. So that was a great starting point. See you, and thank you so much for this opening.
Thank you for inviting me. See you.